Hello, welcome back to the Chicks Dig Scars Sports Podcast. Wow, that's a mouthful. um, Hope you're having a fantastic day. I got a chance to check out the post-game press conference for the Indiana Fever game last night with their loss to the Dallas Wings. I don't want to go through a lot of it and start picking apart every little thing, but the last question, at least the last question I have here on their Indiana Fever's official YouTube account really stood out to me, and I'm going to play it. And so you can start formulating your thoughts and impressions as you're watching it, and I'll give you my take of what struck me and why I think the Indiana Fever continue to struggle and why this is a big problem going forward. If you can't hear the question, because I know sometimes it's echoey with the reporters' questions to Christie Sides, especially when they do the ones from the Zoom reporters, and then the last one usually is. The question is a setup. It's a softball to Christie Sides to give her an opportunity to heap some praise on her rookie point guard who just set a WNBA record, not rookie record. Well, she set the rookie record on the way. The rookie record, I think, was 16, and the WNBA record was 18 in terms of assists per game. So she set the rookie record and then the WNBA record for number of assists in a single game with 19. And the question basically stating for a lot of players, and this for me isn't even a knock on players, we're all human. I get how it can impact your thought process once you've actually set the record. That, you can lose your concentration a little bit in terms of the game itself. So he's basically saying Caitlin Clark doesn't do that. She's focused on the game and on the winning. And what does that say to you about the maturity of your 22-year-old point guard? Here's what Christie Sides has to say about that.
George Goy from the Just Say Goy Sports Podcast. Coach, we see a lot of times in sports, players break records. They lose focus and they just focus on what they did as opposed to the game. What does it say about Caitlin Clark's maturity that at age 22 she's more focused on the loss and her team as a whole?
Yeah, that's hopefully what we're focused on. When is the win. Like that's our goal, that's our focus, a team win. And with that win, with the talent that we have, come those records and all the accolades. But overall, when the team wins, the individuals win, and that's what we've got to keep pressing. I know it's just different these days, and that's what people are looking at and talking about. But we want to build a culture, and we want to have sustainable wins. We want the Fever to come back and get back into the playoffs. Hadn't been there since 2016. That's our goal, and the only way we do that is we focus as a team on the wins, on the big picture wins.
Okay, wow. Holy mother. I I seriously, every time this woman opens her mouth, I loathe her just a little bit more. Really, truly do. This is absolutely ridiculous. Not a single mention of Caitlin Clark. She was literally asked about Caitlin Clark and her maturity that she shows in handling situations like this. And Christie Sides does not say a damn word about Caitlin Clark. In fact, her tone in that answer actually, to me, comes across as negative. Her body language and her tone and her words come across as negative toward Caitlin Clark, as if somehow Caitlin Clark is a burden to Christie Sides by being on this team. She's a distraction, and that somehow maybe Caitlin Clark isn't focused on the wins. Oh my goodness. This is beyond me that this woman has this job. Absolutely, truly do not understand it in any way, shape, or form. She hates her point guard. I don't know what other, okay, maybe it's not hate. Maybe it's just pure jealousy. But it is something that is not good. It's not good for Caitlin Clark. It is not good for the team. She is incapable of saying something positive about Caitlin Clark. I mean, she didn't even mention her. The question was literally about Caitlin Clark, and she didn't even mention her. And then she talks about this team win and all. I hope that's what we're focused on, as if Caitlin Clark is somehow not. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of different things. I have to go pull out a bunch of stuff and everything. But just as a reminder, and I think I showed you this in the post game last night, Christie Sides wants everyone focused on wins. Christie Sides hates when Caitlin Clark does well. She would have much rather gotten blown out, had Boston get her 28 points, and Caitlin Clark have like 5 points and 3 assists. That's more important to her. She hates when Caitlin Clark runs, because when Caitlin Clark runs, Caitlin Clark is productive and the team is productive, and it has nothing to do with Christie Sides. Here's a quick reminder, because we could go through a long list just from last night's game about Christie Sides and how she handled things. But remember this? Let's go through this. Even after a made bucket, boom, we're going to get down. We're going to get an easy bucket. But no, it doesn't count, because in the middle of that, Christie Sides called a timeout, because you can't have Caitlin Clark run when she doesn't want you to run, when Christie Sides doesn't want her to run. You can't have Caitlin Clark be successful. You can't have the team get easy buckets because of Caitlin Clark. By the way, just in case we're not putting these things together, because we also talked about, and I showed one example in the video last night, way too many missed easy layups again. Let's not forget when there were, 44, 45 seconds left in this game. I wasn't able to find a clip of that, probably because it's not really highlight worthy. But the Indiana Fever had the ball going length of the court, so under the opposing team's basket, 44, 45 seconds to go, down 4. We had, I think Katie Lou was throwing it in, and you had Caitlin Clark there. You had Caitlin Clark's defender, and you had Katie Lou's defender, both on Caitlin Clark, double teaming her, and there was no one else even around. Out of a timeout, down 4 with less than a minute to go, Christie Sides does not have an inbounds play to get the ball into the hands of her point guard. She doesn't have an inbounds play to have another option, if you can't, to get the ball in someone else's hand, and then something designed to get the ball into Caitlin Clark's hand. So what happens? Caitlin Clark pushes the pace, as she should, gets into the area around the foul line, top of the box, realizes she's going to have to pull it back out. And unfortunately, as she's coming back out, the Wings players that she had passed are coming back in. She gets the ball knocked away. It's a turnover. And I'm not excusing that. I mean, I get it when you're in that situation and you're pushing, those things are going to happen. But let's keep in mind this play right here, instead of down 4 with 44 seconds to go and having to push like that to get a bucket, the team, even with all the other misses, because you can always point to every game for both teams and go back and, well, this, if this, and this. This is a made bucket in transition. It's a gimme. Both teams were playing because it happened so fast. The ball's inbounded to Caitlin. She throws it the length of the court to Nalissa, who lays it in. But Christie Sides called a timeout while it was happening, so the bucket didn't count. They should have been down, even changing nothing else. Literally, because of Christie Sides' complete incompetence as a head coach, they are down 4 points when they had that ball with 44 seconds to go, instead of these 2 points, because she took this bucket away from her own team. She is destroying that team. They should probably be 14-12, 15-11, maybe. That might be stretching it a little bit, but at the very least, they're 13-13, probably 14-12, if not better. But they're being held back by Christie Sides. You've got 2 problems at work. You've got one, that she's just a terrible, terrible head coach all around. and she does not like Caitlin Clark. And you cannot watch that in that press conference and tell me that that is a woman who likes her point guard. And I'm going to give you one more thing just because this is, as you can see, this game's over. They're down 8 now. It's 17.5. This is one of those situations where, it's over. Both teams agree it's over. But I'm going to let you lip read. This is on the bench after Christie Sides calls a timeout. This is only about 5 seconds long, so pay attention. Caitlin Clark, again, with the higher basketball IQ than her coach, is not understanding why they called a timeout because the game is over. What are we doing? What are we doing here, Christie Sides? You're going to have to explain it to me. Oh, man, this woman has got to go. I'm telling you, I'm going to get on Twitter and I'm going to tweet to the Indiana Fever and Lynn Dunn every single day that they cannot bring Christie Sides back after the Olympic break. I know there's a petition out there that I think has reached like 1 million signatures. I think maybe we also need to start one and let the fans know. No more support. Enough's enough. You've had this great opportunity with Caitlin Clark and you're blowing it. Look, everyone can go out there and buy her Nike shoes and her Wilson basketball and all that stuff. But support the Fever? Nope. Nah, they don't deserve it anymore. They really, really don't. But I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know your thoughts. Did that hit you at all with what you're hearing from Christie Sides? Or well, I'm not gonna say I'm reading too much into it. I don't think I am. I really don't. At this point, I mean, that was the first thing that entered my mind. You had a question setting you up to praise your point guard, and you just absolutely could not do it. Didn't even acknowledge that the question was about Caitlin Clark. Didn't mention her at all. Oh man, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you later.